Hey, welcome back. My name is Al. Today I have part 2 of the Venom tutorial. Before we get there, if you love all things 3D, please subscribe. Okay, so we are going to start on the upper gums, and this way I'm going to do a different approach. So instead of adding a new shape, I'm just going to sculpt directly into the mouth. Using clay strips, I'm just building up those forms, and I kind of already pre-made that socket where your tooth is going to sit. If I hold down Control, it's going to do the opposite. That way I can carve around and shape this uvula a little bit better. And then we're diving into the tongue. This is simply clay strips, and I'm just going back and forth in a circular motion, making these kind of exaggerated taste buds. The reason they're exaggerated is so I could see it from a distance. If they were like the proper size, I wouldn't really be able to see them. So it's just exaggerated for clarity and style. Using clay strips, beef up some of the lips, make them a little bit more intense. Same kind of reason there, so I can see it from a distance. Going back and forth on each side of those valleys. Anytime I need to cut in that crease, I think there is a crease brush. I like Draw Sharp instead. I'm not a huge fan yet of the crease brush in Blender. But back and forth over the lips, checking everything from all angles. And let's work on the upper lips. Using clay strip to quickly get in these large chunks, back and forth, and then with clay strips going back and forth once again to beef them up. Draw Sharp, I can basically split each of those sections, give it a more lippy feel, and then I'm doing these horizontal kind of striations, these cuts in the lip, just to simulate those wrinkles you have on your lips. I decided to beef up the bottom of the lip a little bit, do some more pinching and adjusting for the corners of the mouth. And this is where I go into object mode and drop in a brand new sphere. So we're going to use this sphere, take it using Command R or Control R to do that remesh function, and shape it to something that looks like a tooth, right? Then I can duplicate this guy. I believe it's Control D. Move this into position. I like to change the shape a little bit from each tooth. That way it doesn't look like I copied it. Just change it here and there. Using that Draw Sharp by holding Control to pull out that sharp edge on the front of the tooth, and then using Pinch if I need to. Move this bad boy into position. I can rotate, scale, change it a little bit. I intentionally left out some of these teeth. I probably should have changed what the gums look like without a tooth there. So I wanted him to feel like he had not just been to the dentist, right? He does not have a nice, purty set of pearly whites. Same thing on the top. Rotate some of these teeth in here. I don't know if Blender has an insert mesh brush like Zbrush does. This would have been very helpful. If it does, let me know in the comments below because I have not found it. What that does is it allows me to create one of these teeth, and with a brush, I can just draw on my mesh and it will basically pull itself from the surface of the mesh. So I don't have to do this rotating scaling. So I like it a lot inside of ZBrush. I'll have to do more research to see if it has it. I decided to push the gums out, make the mouth just a little bit wider where those teeth were sitting. It felt really, really, I don't know, small. Not a lot of space in there. Using the snake hook, change the shape of the teeth ever so slightly. So this first hole that you see there gaping through his cheek, that was done with this following process. So I'm dropping in new shapes, in this case cylinders, getting them into position on both sides, and scaling, just getting a very rough shape. I want to make sure that it penetrates all the way through this cheek, and then I can add the Boolean modifier, and then apply. So I pick which object I want, hit apply, then I'm good to go. So then I actually have this hole that's been bored out through my mesh. And when I remesh, I'm going to be able to sculpt this, and in particular, hold down smooth, or hold down shift to smooth. I can adjust. It was very sharp, like it was very hard surface at first. So using inflate, using clay strips ever so gently around these strips, and then holding shift to smooth. And finally, remesh. I get something that looked pretty great. I like it a lot. Slowly building up the form just to kind of make it flow from the top to the bottom a little bit more naturally. And really, it's up to you. If you were to follow this process, yours will probably look a lot different than mine, and that's okay. Collect your reference, tons of reference, whether it's 3D sculpts, models, just comic book images of Venom. Have lots of references, lots of animal reference as well, and just go to town. This is a very basic kind of overview of the process. Not so granular as a lot of tutorials, just an overview. Hey, thanks for sticking around for the video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe. I will see you next time.